Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. Today we're going to do mini readings, and the way that it works is I basically have a list of all the people that are on the list. And you send $25 to my PayPal, which is in the description of the video. We do the readings live and only when I'm actually live. And so once I get the notification that your $25 has gone through, then I add your name to the list, and then you can ask like an astrology question. You can ask a human design question. You can do tarot and oracle card reading. It's kind of open-ended from that point. So that's exciting. We have 2 people on the list for tonight so far, and one of them is doing 2 readings. And so there's basically 3 people on the list. And so if you get on the list, you're going to be the 4th reading in a row. So we are looking for Susan. She's first on the list, and then it's Rebecca. So we will give it a couple minutes. While we're waiting, I want to say thank you guys again for being here and watching this video. If you are new, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. Also, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you'd like to, or check us out in the live chat. I love the live interaction. So if you're watching, feel free to say hi, and then I can say hi back. For example, hello, Oliver. Welcome in. Satnam. Hello, Bernadine. Welcome in. And hello, Rebecca. So let's talk a little bit about what are some of the fun things that are coming up this week. Well, we do have, this mini reading broadcast. There's some crazy astrological transits going on this week. This weekend, the sun officially enters into Pisces, and we are at the last season of the year. I've got some fun plans for March, and I'll share them a little bit with you guys. And Susan, if you are here watching, let us know that you are here. We'll give that a couple more minutes. And if we don't hear from Susan, then Rebecca, we will start with you. Okay. Feel free to, well, actually, no, just wait. Anyways, so here's the exciting news that I want to share with you guys. So hello, Ella, welcome in. So first of all, I'm doing a weekly astrology and tarot reading on our global community. So if you have not joined our global community yet, please do so. It's totally free to join. You basically create a login and a password, and it's held within the platform called Mighty Networks. Our network is called Channel for Grace, and our free community is called the Global Community. And so what I have on there is we have free classes, yoga classes. We have free events every new and full moon. I do a ceremony and Club Jai virtual dance party. It's really amazing and really fun. And we also have like special meditations that we do every once in a while. We have a book club, and all of that is really, really fun. So join us in the global community. And this is also where I do the free weekly astrology and tarot and tell you the energies of the week ahead. So lots of fun things. It's also where I host all of my courses. And speaking of courses, I'm preparing our next course that's going to be available. We've started with the Moon Goddess training. So obviously that's the year-long course. That's basically the Akashic certification. There's 3 different levels. We're in level 1 right now. It's not too late to join. And the information for that is also below. You just go to my website. Hello, Susan, welcome in. Okay, good to see you in here. You're first, so feel free to put up your information and let me know what kind of reading you want me to do. And then we'll go from there. So the exciting thing is you can still join us for the Moon Goddess training. We just launched this weekend. And so we are very excited to dive into the journeys. Our next temple is the Temple of Isis, and we actually have a break. We're not meeting this weekend, but we usually meet on Sundays if that works for you. And so that's really awesome, and that's happening and going on. The other thing is that I am finishing up my book, and it will be coming out in March. The book is all about the astrology of the year, each of the seasons from Aries to Pisces, and how to move through each of the seasons with understanding of what the season represents, with the astrology of the season, and also the new and the full moon, like horoscopes. And all of that is part of the book. I'm also creating an embodiment workbook that goes along with the book that is also a Stargate calendar, and will tell you which Stargates are being activated each month, like each astrological season. And I'm super excited about that because the book is like literally for the whole year. So it starts on March 21st, which is the spring equinox, which is the first day of Aries. And then the other exciting announcement is that along with the book, I'm actually preparing a course. And the course is going to be a Stargate astrology or starseed astrology. And what we're going to do is learn how to find the starseed markings in the chart, like where is Orion and how to find out if you're an Orion starseed or if someone's is an Orion starseed. The same thing with like all the royal fixed stars. The same thing with other starseed markings like Andromeda, Venusian starseed markings, Ophiuchus, the galactic center, like all of these starseed markings that live throughout the astrological chart. I'm basically going to teach a class on how to find them. And so the class will include, it's going to be a 6-week course, and it's going to include what is the starseed marking, what does it mean, what does it represent, and then we'll do chart examples on how to read the chart based off of like which planet or which angle is on that marking. So it's going to be a really fun astrology class that a lot of people have been wanting me to do it. So if you sign up for the course before the end of February, by the end of February, you're going to get the embodiment workbook for free. And it's actually an ebook. The workbook is going to be an ebook, and I will be I'm deciding on whether I'm going to actually make it a hard copy book, because it's not going to be as thick as the regular book. So for now it's an ebook. And anyways, I am preparing all the links to be able to sign up for that. So I just wanted to let you guys know today, because I'm really excited about all of that. That's the next kind of big project that's coming up. So let's get into our readings for today. Yeah, I know it's going to be really fun. People have been asking me for this for a while. So I am super freaking excited about it. All right, let me do a screen share real quick. Let me actually share the iPad so that we can take a look at the chart and begin to do the reading. So Susan is first on the list. Then we have Rebecca. Rebecca's doing 2 readings. She paid for 2 of them. And then once that's done, then the list is open. But feel free to get on the list now. The earlier you get on the list, basically you're going to get a reading tonight. So that's how we do it. I co-wrote a book that was called A Circle of Stars with my friend Tara Wild. And we did the Celtic cross. She wrote about the Celtic wheel. And then I wrote about the new and full moon astrology of the whole year. And so this is the first time that I'm actually doing a book all by myself, but it's all astrology based. I do talk about the Celtic wheel too, but it's not heavy on that. It's more heavy on the astrology of the year, and actually how to move through the seasons through the lens of the Atlantean astrology and Atlantean wisdom. So it is really, really exciting. Okay, I'm going to pull up your chart, Susan, while I keep talking. And yeah, the starseed markings are going to be awesome. I'm interested in learning about starseeds and want to know if I am one and from where. Yikes, so much to learn. I know. Well, I do starseed readings as well. So I can do a starseed reading for you. You can find that on my website, book a reading. But the training will be something that can teach you also how to find the markings yourself. You may want to do both, just so you can compare, and it's learning how to interpret them is the fun part. But yes, I do starseed readings. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to pull up your chart real quick so we can get started. So the month is, it's 12, 25, 68. If you guys see something wrong as it's coming up on the screen, please let me know so I can fix it. Okay, I'm also going to need your time of birth and the location, city and state that you were born in. I didn't catch that. Otherwise, I would have told you to have that ready. Okay. So as we wait for that, I'll just keep blabbing. Yeah, the starseed readings is pretty amazing. And when I'm doing the starseed readings, I really kind of channel a lot of information starts coming through. And when I put together all the starseed readings in your chart, it really paints a really beautiful picture of the cosmic part of you, which is what the starseed markings tell you. It's at a soul level, at a cosmic level, what are all of these energies that are infused within you through your DNA. And as you are here on Earth, walking on Earth, you actually get to embody that energy. And usually you get really inspired by it. Okay. All right. So 1933, country, Philippines, and then the city, . Do you know which one it is? If it's Bicol or Eastern Visayas? Or maybe if I put Leilet or Leite, sorry. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly which one to pick here. So I'll just wait for you to clarify. It's probably going to be Eastern Visayas. Little by little. So also, while you're answering that question, okay, that's what I thought. Okay. So December 25th, 1968. That's correct. Yes. Create chart. How familiar are you with your human design chart? So I know how to kind of communicate with you about it. I think it's new. I think you're new to it, actually. Okay. So you might want to write all this down, and then later on you can like do deeper searches on YouTube and stuff like that. But I'll give you kind of like the basic understanding of what it means to have the chart that you have. 6-3. So interesting. Okay. Let me just do a couple of adjustments here. Here we go. 6-3 emotional generator. Okay, well, what human design can help you understand? It's a very strategic way of looking at your unique design. Yes, got it. Okay. And it can help you understand your strategy, your authority, your aura type, and what's the best way for you to actually live in your design. So even just knowing type, strategy, and authority can be a huge life changer when it comes to embodying that. And then human design is like a rabbit hole that you can dive into, and it will give you so much information about you. It's crazy. So what does it mean to be a generator? So when you're a generator, it means you have a defined sacral, and it actually means that you have consistent energy to actually do things in life. The thing about having a defined sacral, which is about life force energy, is generators are very much here to channel the life force energy of the planet. And the way that you know that you're truly like embodying and channeling the life force energy is there are certain things that you just absolutely love to do. And when you're doing those things, it's like you have infinite amount of energy, like the Energizer Bunny. And when you're doing things that you don't love, it feels like you don't have the energy. And so your gauge is like, if you're feeling the opposite of like fully charged to do something, then it's probably not, you're probably going against your design. For example, if you have like a job that you hate and every day your body is just like, bleh, every time you got to go to work, you're going against your design, because you should be doing something that lights you up and that makes you feel excited about life and that feels like it's fueling you to be able to do those things that you love. So that's the first part. The second part is that you have an aura that is enveloping. And so when what your aura is doing, it's like feeling into the environment and also calling in the things that it's like meant for it. A little bit like the law of attraction in a way is how I understand it. But honestly, you just kind of fill up the space. Your energy just fills up the room, fills up the space, and it's responding to everything around it. And that's why it fills up the space, because its strategy is to respond. And what that means is like, as things come to you, you listen to what your body tells you. And you have to take one extra step because you have emotional authority, and I'll explain that in a second. But basically, you have to respond to everything. When you try to initiate something, when you start to like start something, it's not the right strategy. And so you will most likely fail at that thing, or it won't happen. It won't because your job is not to initiate things. The only type in human design that can really initiate is the manifester. And there's not that many manifestors in the world. The rest of us have this strategy where we have to wait and we have to let ourselves be comfortable enough within ourselves and calm enough within ourselves and patient enough to allow the things to come to us. And so that's the thing. It's if you're in this stressful, anxious state where you're I have to do this and I have to do that, and if I don't, it's not going to happen. That state is literally the opposite of your natural flow, of your natural unique design, which is to just sit and let life and things come to you. And then when you're in the presence of something that has arrived into your life, whether it's a thought or an idea or a situation or an invitation of some sort, or something that shows up in your life, a job, project, whatever, your job is to respond to it. And the response will happen through your emotional field. And the reason I say that is because you have emotional authority. So the best way for you to make decisions in your life is to pay attention to how you feel. So you are your whole life, you've been going through emotional highs and lows and then neutral, high, low, neutral, high, low, neutral. And when you're in that neutral space is the best time to make your decisions. You're not going to have clarity in the moment ever. And so you have to take that little extra step and wait to see how you feel about it. And this is what you use. This is the authority that you use when you're trying to make important decisions in your life. And so if you are not waiting for that wave to finish and get back to neutral, you're going to make decisions from the high end of the spectrum or from the low end of the spectrum, and most likely regret your decision later. Because then you go to the lower end of the wave or the higher end of the wave, and you're actually, I did want to do this, or actually, no, I didn't want to do this, So it's interesting, and it's one of the most, I would say, difficult authorities to have, but it's the most advanced too, because we're moving to an age from the lens of human design that is calling us to tap into our emotional guiding system. And the emotional realm is the realm really truly of manifestation. We don't manifest through the mind. The emotions are these, and this is what I learned also from Matthias Stefano, and I'm going to be talking about this when we do the Temple of Isis in the Moon Goddess training, about the moon centers, and then also emotions, and how emotions are the guiding system. And when we can raise our frequency to pay attention to the emotional realm, they're the emotions are the ones that create the energy of manifestation. It's just a different way of seeing the world. And then it's all about intuition too. So trusting your intuition and then using your strategy are two very, very important things that you have to pay attention to. And just those three things will help change the frequency. If you feel dissatisfied with life, do these three things, start doing these three things, or start to respond and start to listen to your emotions and wait to make decisions. Don't just jump to conclusions or pick the first thing that shows up or try to initiate something, because then you will be going off the design. And then we call that being in the not self. So how is that resonating so far for you, Susan? I'll pause right there because I know I just kind of said a lot. I feel like you're really listening intently because your comments stopped. And also, if you guys are wanting a reading, the list is still open. We have 2 more readings after this, and then the list is open. So we're just going to go until we're done. She says truth. Okay, good. It resonates. That's awesome. So, you really got to count on that energy. You have to count on like finding and not looking for things, but allowing things to come to you that match your desire to do, because the generators are here to do. They're like the busybodies. That's your job. Things go my way when I wait and be guided. I love that. I love that. Yes. So it's a whole different style of like being in the world and moving about the world than we are used to and that we have learned is the right way. We have learned that we need to make decisions through our mind and that our decisions need to be like logical. Like they need to make logical sense. It doesn't make logical sense to like let your emotions guide you, but that's the point. It's not logical. So we have to learn to be okay with an illogical process of making decisions, right? So connect to people more than anything. Yeah. So one thing to watch out for is to not make promises, because you have an undefined, I'll just share a couple more things that are standing out. You, if you tend to make promises, that literally goes against what you were designed. You were designed to literally, like, you don't have anything to prove to anyone. And so if you're making promises like, yes, I'll do this, or yes, I'll do that, you may veer completely off the path and you may fail. Like, because you don't know whether you're going to be able to like commit to that or finish, so you really need to give yourself space to go with the flow of the process of anything in life. I fall flat on my face when I do things that I think I should versus go with the flow. Oh, I love that. That's a really nice way to put it. And then the last thing I'll share is that you have an undefined G center. And so you may have a kind of a vague sense of identity. And what I mean by that is the undefined G center basically tells you that you are someone who's a little bit more fluid in terms of your identity. You don't have a sense of like, this is who I am. And when you're around different people, you kind of start to act like them. You kind of take them on, because the undefined centers are absorbing and magnifying everything around them. These are the centers that are the ones where you take in all the information around you. And the centers that you have defined are the ones where you actually can rely on, because they have consistent energy available to you. And the energy that they have depends on what is the center and what does that center do. So that's really important as well. You also have a completely open throat and a completely open head center. And so you're not really here to like speak in the way that we normally would think of speaking and communicating. You're here to channel through the voice. So like surrender and like let like those divine energies just like come in through the head center and then just like channel. And you may find yourself saying what other people want to say, but they're not saying. But I think it's actually really beautiful. What I'm sensing in your specific chart is like singing or any kind of way of expressing. You may feel like sometimes you don't know how to say what you want to say, but if you just surrender, like your voice is like a channel of information. So, what should I be doing with my life for a job? So that's not a question that human design can answer, because you can do any job, except if you don't love it, you will be going against your design. So the job that you should be doing is something that you absolutely love, that feeds your soul, and that makes you feel like you have all the energy to put into it. That's the job that you should be doing. And I would also recommend that you look at your gene keys, because that will give you some more insight It's like a whole nother wormhole over there into what's your life's work, your life purpose, you know, how you grow, how you evolve, what are the shadows that you have to transmute to step into the gift, and how to activate prosperity and where you fit in best kind of in the world of business. That you can find a lot of that information in the Gene Keys, although it, you know, it's a deep dive. You're not just going to like pull it up and be like, oh yeah, it's like, no, you have to study it and you have to know what it means. And so you're either going to have to take like a course or get a reading or something like that to really understand it. But what human design tells you is how to best function in the world. Yes, I'm in administration and I don't like all the freaking politics. Well, then get out. Like literally, that's what that means. If you don't love it, it's not for you. All right. Thank you, Susan. I hope that was really helpful for you. I really appreciate you getting a reading tonight. And now we're going to transition into Rebecca's reading. And so whenever you're ready, Rebecca, just pop the information in. And what we'll do is we will look at the astrology first, and then we'll do the human design. I'm really excited. Yeah, the Gene Keys is something that we go deep into in the Moon Goddess training. In level 1, we do the activation sequence. There's 3 sequences. In level 2, we do the Venus sequence. And in level 3, we do the prosperity sequence. The Pearl sequence, actually. I was like, that's not what it's called. But it's about activating prosperity. And what's really cool about that is that the Gene Keys are another rabbit hole that takes time to process and contemplate. It's very yin-like, very feminine contemplation to really like sink in. And it's really about you sitting with the information and tuning into it and receiving insights and downloads. So I recommend that if you want to dive into, or you can also get a reading from me as well. Okay, what's her name? Rebecca. All right, so we got 10, 24, 23. I know, me too. Oh my gosh, she was born at 8:45 a.m. I was born at 8:45 a.m. I love that. I just have Nako's song in my head now. Oh my God, that's so cute. Okay. On October 24th. Okay. Let's look at it. All right. So I'm going to go over like the basic things in the chart and especially like what kind of stands out to me. So I love that she's a Scorpio. Which one? What do you mean? Oh, the Nako. Oh, that song. I live in Gila. Da-na-na-na-na. Sorry, I'm butchering it. You're my stallion. Can you just carry me home? I think it's Warrior People that I'm singing. That's in my head. Yeah. Okay. He says Hilo in that song. Okay, so I love that she's a Scorpio. I just personally, I feel like, you know, Scorpios get a bad rap, but I think it's actually really cool. She has a really strong Scorpio stellium. And so what I'm instantly like drawn to, and she's got Mercury right there, Mars too. I love Mars and Scorpio. Dude, I have Mars and Scorpio too. She's going to be strong-willed and like a determined person in life. And nothing will stop her from like doing the things that she like puts her mind to. Literally. She's going to be very investigative, with Mercury in Scorpio. Like she's going to be like a curious mind, and she's going to want to like do little rabbit holes and go find information and hidden things. I think that's going to be really cool. What I do notice too is that, you know, she was born with, now they're not like too close together, but she has her sun close to the south node, which means that for me, so the south node is karma, right? So like what this tells me is that like she's here to like heal from a past life, in a sense. Like there is karma that her soul is here to review, because the sun is the soul, and if the sun is with the south node, you're like healing from the past, like you're working on things that came before. And so this could be resolving, you know, karma in this lifetime, and she came in like ready to figure that out. Obviously not like literally, but she came in with the mind of like, I'm going to find out the information, I'm going to figure this out, and I'm going to do this. So I think it's actually really powerful. Like there's a strong energy there too. Her north node is in Aries. And so actually, and it's conjunct Chiron. So Chiron, let's talk about that a little bit. It's funny because these are like the energies that we've been dealing with right now, right? So she was born just last year. And that's so sweet. But she's really here, her purpose from the lens of human design, from the lens of astrology, is to find her independence. And part of her journey that she's here to heal is in the past, she was like very codependent. She was very intertwined with people, and she wasn't really able to do things herself. And now in this lifetime, she's here to learn to do things herself. But it's the wounded healer journey, where you have to find your truth and you have to walk your path. And it's like the hero's journey. So she came in for her journey, and it's only her own, and she has to follow herself into that. And it's going to be a huge healing thing for her because she's got that Chiron north node. The other thing that I love is that her north node is in the 5th house, which is the house of Leo, and it's passion and it's creativity and it's the inner child and it's joy and it's bliss. And it's got all these beautiful things. It's the heart, and it's where the sun rules this energy, this Leo energy. And so it's also like she has the north node in Leo. So she's here to find herself and be herself, and then shine her light, like who she is, really bright, and be seen and heard and valued, like for what she does. But really, she's really here to like express her creativity, express her love, like be a happy child and, you know, and adult and human, and enjoy the ride, because the ride is like an adventure. North Node Aries is like, it's an adventure. You're jumping off. It's like the Fool. You're jumping off the ledge and you don't know what's on the other side. So there's a lot of her creating her journey in this lifetime, as well as working on healing. She's going to heal her past karma by creating a new adventure, by going on a new adventure. Moon in Pisces. Ooh, conjunct Saturn. That's interesting. So I think she's going to be like, she's very psychic. She's super psychic, super emotional too. And also compassionate and loving and like sensitive and gentle. But having Saturn there, now it can go both ways, because Saturn and the moon, Saturn restricts emotions. And so she may be like serious, like this is a seriousness, you know? Or she may battle internally with like, should I feel this? And then her Saturn's going to be like, no, you know, that's at a shadow frequency. But at like a gift frequency, Saturn in Pisces is like the beautiful, it's like a wise sage. And that energy can like channel through her intuition, through her like psychic abilities. I think it's actually really beautiful. What else stands out to me? Sag rising, she's ruled by Jupiter, and she's got Jupiter in Taurus, which is a really cool thing, because Jupiter in Taurus that's funny. Jupiter in Taurus is abundance. It's like money. But then Uranus in Taurus kind of shakes things up. So she's also here to like shake things up in the world. I feel like anybody that's going to be born with Uranus and Taurus is here to like shake up the world and bring something different to the earthly plane, which is represented by the sign of Taurus. Venus in Virgo means that she's going to be very kind of organized, meticulous, and detail oriented. And she's going to be picky when it comes to what she wants, what she desires in relationships. But once she finds what she wants, she's going to have no problem going to get it, because that's Mars in Scorpio. But the Sag rising is she's like a adventurous spirit. And she is here to expand. Like, it's almost like expand everything you touch. Bring more fire to it. So it's funny because her North Node is in the 5th house of Leo, which is fire. Her North Node is in Aries, which is fire. And she's a Sagittarius rising, which is fire. Even though her sun is in Scorpio, she's got a lot of that fire energy kind of like holding down important parts about herself. So those are all the things that really stand out to me about her chart. So now let's look at her human design. Have you looked at it? I'm going to ask that question first. Have you looked at it at all? Do you know what it is what I'm trying to ask. What's 8? Oh yeah, it's 8:45. Okay. October 24th, 23, 8:40. Oh wow, that's cool. I like that. That's very cool. That means that like throughout life, you guys are going to have like the transits are going to affect you in the same houses. So that's kind of cool. You're going to be kind of going through the same, and there's going to be different planets in each of those houses, but you're going to be feeling those things in similar places or similar aspects of your lives. I think that's really cool. All right, let me make sure I have this right. I think I do. So let's create the chart and see what we got. Okay. She is a 6/2 emotional generator. So I kind of talked about the generator aura, and she's gonna like feed you in terms of energy, because when you're a projector and when you're around babies and kids that are generators, like, okay, for one, it can be really exhausting. Ask Ariel. But also it can be activating. Like you can feel like you get energy from your kids because they're generators or manifesting generators. But generators themselves are like, they have more of like a beautiful consistency about them. They don't like jump around so much as the manifesting generators. They're just kind of like slowly and steadily like moving forward. And it's actually really sweet energy. It feels much more consistent to a projector feeling into the energy. The manifesting generator energy can feel very like out of whack. Like, it's all over the place. The generators, I feel, have a little bit more consistency. So she also has, and you're a 6/2 projector, emotional projector. Oh, you are an emotional projector too. That's crazy. Okay, that's a really cool synchronicity. So let's talk about the emotional authority. You know what that's like because that's your authority. And so you know how to guide her through that. Basically, she's going to go through the emotional highs and lows and you can't stop them. You know, you can't make it feel better. Like she needs to learn. And this is what I love. I'll just say this. I love parents that study their kids' human design because you are going to set them up for success in life in a way that like I didn't have, you probably didn't have, to know these things about your children is just, I love it. It's the new world. So you have to teach her, or she has to learn to trust her emotions. Like when she's feeling the emotion, it's real and she needs to be allowed to feel it. And what ends up happening, unfortunately, is stop crying. You know what I mean? Like things like that. Or like, why are you so sad? You know, like stop. Like, here's the lollipop. Get happy. You know? And that's gnarly because that means that when that happens to her, wherever she's at, right? I mean, I'm not saying don't comfort, you know, of course comfort. But what I mean is give her space to feel, because she needs to become very acquainted with her emotions. When she's high, she's high. When she's low, she's low. And then she'll be in neutral. And so you can always, like, what I would ask her when you're like wanting to know what she wants, because like kids have to learn like how to use their authority. And it's like, okay, their authority is meant to help them make decisions. So if she has emotional authority, you need to ask her, what do you feel? What are you feeling? Like, do you want an apple? Like, does the apple make you happy? You know, or how does the apple make you feel, or whatever, you know, does this make you happy or not? Like, I don't know. Ariel probably has some better ideas than I do, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, she has to be allowed like to feel like, how does this make you feel? And if you keep asking her that, she'll always be like, oh, it feels happy or sad, you know, or good or bad. You know, kids have to have simplified versions of emotions. But eventually, obviously, emotions get really complex. But if she learns at an early age when she's on a high emotional wave and when she's on a low emotional wave, and then she'll have much more success with that in the future. But you also have to give her space, because she's not going to know right away, right? Like what she wants. It's always going to take her some time to figure it out. What's cool about her chart is that she has a defined not solar plexus. She has a defined ego center. She does have a defined solar plexus, but ego center, which is willpower. So she has the willpower, and she is going to express her emotions through her will. So I think that's actually really cool. In fact, if we So she has the channel of community, which is a design of a part seeking the whole. She has to allow, I mean, this is, you know, for later on, but even in like playgrounds and stuff, like the right community has to find her, because she's really here to support others. She may actually be, I don't want to say like a breadwinner type of energy, but that's what this 40th gate is all about. It's like being the provider. And so, but you can't be the provider in a place where it's not the right place for you, because no one's going to appreciate you. And then also you are learning, this is a lesson in life of learning, like, how much do I give and how much do I give to myself? Like, how much do I give and how much do I stop and rest? Because you can't just always give. But the community aspect is a very important part of her frequency. She also has the 360, the channel of mutation. So she's going to bring in crazy things into the world, like new things, and randomly and out of nowhere. Like, this is an energy that sits dormant for a long time and can be very melancholic. Having that individual circuitry means that she may be a melancholic person, where she already because of the emotional authority, but because she's flowing through these phases of like nothing is happening, silent, like dormant energy that all of a sudden just boom, sparks to life and changes the world. And so I actually really love that. She has an undefined spleen, which means she doesn't know what's like really safe for her or not. So she has to learn to take care of herself and take care of her health. She has an undefined or completely open G center, which means that she's not really here to like know herself, but she's here to like know the community and like know like the energy of people around her. She doesn't need to have an identity. Like, that sounds really weird. Everyone's going to have that, but an identity, but I mean a sense of I know who I am. People with an undefined G center don't have that sense. I don't have a defined G center. I don't know. I can't remember if you do or not. But if you have it undefined, it's like you just stop trying to figure out who you are. Like, am I this? Am I that? Like, because you're going to be a blend of everything. And that's the whole point. So that's what jumps out at me. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so she does have a left angle cross. And that's funny because when I was looking at her chart, I kept thinking she's dealing with karma from a past life. And that's what the left angle cross is all about. It's about you came here to work out past life karma. That's your life will be every relationship, especially the one to the mother, is past life connection. And so everyone in her life, all relationships are her resolving past life thing. There's like major soul contracts. So that would be like the next thing to explore. Like, what's the soul contract between the two of you and things like that. So there you go. Yes, I loved doing that reading too. So I hope that gave you a lot of insight and a lot to kind of work off of, Rebecca. And thank you again. So I'm going to check and see if anyone else has gotten on the list. It doesn't look like it. And so I don't know who's here because I feel like I think there's a few people watching, but I don't know that they're going to get a reading. So I'll just give it a couple more minutes. And if no one gets on the list, that's all good. We will finish the broadcast. Yes. Yes. She does have Pluto in Capricorn. And the Capricorn energy tends to feel like that, like an old soul. For sure. So cool. That was actually really fun to do that. So if anyone watching wants to get a reading, the way you get a reading is you send the donation to my PayPal, and then we do the reading live on air. And there's no one after Rebecca on the list. And so the list is now open. Oops, I'm making holes on my paper. But in the meantime, I'll just share a couple things that I was sharing in the beginning, but I don't know if everybody heard. So I have a book coming out in March. I have a new course also coming out in March. The course is going to begin on the spring equinox, which is at the beginning of Aries season. My book it's an astrological book based off of the whole entire astrological year. And I have finished writing it. I'm just doing the last minute, like proofreading and stuff like that. And it starts like it's a dated calendar basically. And it starts on the first season of the year, which is Aries, and it ends with Pisces. And I'm going to be recreating this book every year to guide you through the astrology of the season, through the full moons, new moons, through the eclipses. It's going to be so cool. It's also going to have like a paired book. That's going to be an embodiment workbook. And the embodiment workbook is where I'm going to focus on like how to move through the energy, like journaling, which, crystal to use, which essential oil I recommend to use, and things like that. And also how to find out like how do I read my own chart during this month? Like where can I find more information about how this is affecting me personally in my chart? And it's going to be a Stargate calendar. So I kind of split the things because it felt like it was too much all in one. And so the embodiment workbook is going to contain the Stargate calendar, and the class that begins on March 21st is the actual Starseed Astrology course. That's going to be a 6-week course where you're going to learn what are all the starseed markings, where do you find them, how to interpret them in the chart. We're going to have so much fun with that class. How do you know about starseeds? Do you channel? I took a course and learned myself as well. I'm kind of everything I do is pretty much self-study because again, it's like I'm remembering information instead of like learning it for the first time. And I also channel as well. So it's like a combination of a bunch of stuff. I've taken courses on it. I've read a bunch of books on fixed stars. And then the representation of the stars and the meaning of the stars is comes from kind of partly studying and then partly channeling and tuning into the frequency. So what a great question. Yes. And the starseed reading, I basically look at your chart and I tell you what are all the starseed markings in your chart. What does that mean? You know, depending on where that is it your north node that's on a starseed marking, or, you know, south node, etc., etc. And how do you embody that energy? So you have at the end of the reading a beautiful perspective of the cosmology, like the cosmic aspect of your soul. So we are going to finish our broadcast for the evening. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and getting a mini reading. And hopefully we will see you very soon, either in our global community, or I can't wait to finally put out the book and get the course ready for anybody that wants to sign up. And that's about it. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your Friday evening, and I hope to see you again next week. We're moving towards another moon, a magical moon. And so I'll be doing the broadcast for that. I believe it's going to be a full moon in Virgo. Yes. All right. Satnam, everyone. See you soon.